So I had an interesting conversation with a liberal today. As you folks know, I'm on travel right now in California and doing business here. And I'm running into some people where I'm at who are liberal, and one of which I had a conversation with. It was a good conversation. The person was very respectful. It wasn't like an extreme liberal from what I gathered. And I also gathered that this person walked away with some new insight. The conversation, he was starting to talk about mandating a minimum wage increase. And I basically tried to explain to him, first I asked him, what's a minimum wage? Because he felt that the minimum wage was not livable for many people. And I said, well, what is a livable wage? What is the definition? He says it's a wage where a person can support a family, a wife, and kids. A livable wage also supports either a mortgage or rent. It also supports an automobile and auto insurance. It also supports food, you name it. It supports everything according to this person. And I told him, normally a minimum wage job is something that's a stepping stone. For example, I'm 56 years old, and I remember growing up, and after school, kids would go work a part-time job at these locations and fast food places. These locations would be, checkout clerks. They would Basket Robbins, Mickey D's, various places in the industry, and I said they were considered stepping stone jobs while you were going through school and perhaps even while you were, believe it or not, going through college. So I basically told him after we ascertained what is a livable wage, because I took the conversation over. I'm not going to let him control it. We ascertained that. We set the ground rules, basically, what a livable wage is. So I go, okay, so you want to mandate an increase in minimum wage so everybody's making a livable wage. And I said, okay. I said, well, first of all, the people I work with, they're making over minimum wage. Let's just put it that way. So first of all, mandating a minimum wage hurts the people who make over minimum wage. I said, I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. Let's just take a person who's making minimum wage. These are basically the bars of soap here at the hotel. Let's just say they're called widgets. They can represent food, they can represent bills, they can represent anything you want it to represent. Let's say a person making minimum wage, when they get paid in their 2 weeks of time, 2-week period, pay period, we'll just go by this, they're able to buy 10 of these. Okay? They're able to buy 10 of these. And I've explained this in the past. Why mandating minimum wage. I'm not saying minimum wage increase by merit is bad. Totally different. Mandating a government mandate across the board is bad. Person makes minimum wage, they can buy 10 of these. Now I want you to know something real quick. Before I go on with that example, a business will mitigate all costs of doing business. A business will enact measures, countermeasures to offset any increase of doing business. Now let's first ascertain what an increase, let's just ascertain what a cost of doing business is. That's minimum wage. That's paying the employees and their insurance and everything. What else is it? It's the taxes upon them. It's the lighting. It's the striping in their parking lot. It's taxes, as I already mentioned, but it's rules and regulations also imposed by that state government as well as federal government. Anything and everything to keep the doors open. That's a cost of doing business. Right down to the AC and the free coffee they might be handing out to their customers. That's the cost of doing business. Again, minimum wage worker is able to buy 10 of these. All of a sudden, government mandates, I said not merit, government mandates increase will go into effect in 1 week. Now businesses, again, will do everything in their power to mitigate or pass off the cost of doing business. And normally, consumers pay for everything, right down to the striping in the parking lot. They pay through the prices of the products that they buy. Okay? That includes minimum wage. That includes the employees. That includes people who are making above minimum wage. Let me just clarify that. They just pay the consumer, the person buying the products, pays for everything. It's all wrapped up in the product you buy. When you mandate a company, pay higher taxes, increase minimum wage, impose new rules and regulations, which always cost more money upon them, they will offset that extra cost or cost of doing business. And they do it by multiple ways. They pick one or all of them. One way, lay off workers. Second way, cut hours. Third way, move out of the state. Fourth way, move out of the country. The final way is to raise the prices of the products that they sell. So the person, again, is making minimum wage, is only able to afford 10 of these. Now, I already mentioned that they will mitigate that extra cost by one of the ways was increasing the prices of the products that they sell. I already said that. You get a minimum wage, what happens? They increase the prices that they sell. So what happens to that person making minimum wage? They go out, their new paycheck, and Lord and behold, they're still only able to buy 10 of these. Because now the prices of the products that they themselves buy have gone up. Still only able to buy 10 of these. Yet I want more money. I want more money. More money doesn't always mean an increase of purchasing power. What is purchasing power? The ability to buy more than 10 of these. Wouldn't that be? But they can't. They got more digits in the bank, but still are only able to buy 10 of these. How does it hurt the person who is making above minimum wage? See, person who's making above minimum wage didn't get an increase with the mandate of a minimum wage increase. So when they go into the stores, where they used to be able to buy 20 of these, just an example, now they can only buy 18 of these because the prices have increased. You got me? You got me so far? Mandated minimum wage increases do not really help the people making minimum wage. They hurt the people who make above minimum wage. Now, I just want to throw another example out there. I don't know what minimum wage is. I'm just going to shoot out a number. I think it might be right around 12 or 13 bucks. It's irrelevant. Let's just say it's 12 bucks for easy math. And let's say somebody worked hard at their job and got a raise for 50 cents. They're making $12.50. Minimum wage is 12 bucks. Let's say the government comes in. We are mandating a minimum wage increase at X date. X date comes, they raise it up to $12.50 as mandated by government. Now the person who worked their way up is making minimum wage again. It really does suck. Now I want to discuss who minimum wage really does help. This is very important, why government officials are always rooting for minimum wage increases. First of all, the stupid people, Well, yeah, I want a minimum wage increase. Gets new voters. But that's besides the point. They help themselves by getting new voters, but more importantly, you got to remember taxes are based on what? A percentage of money earned. So if the government is collecting, I'm just throwing a number out there, 30% of $12 an hour, based obviously on a 2-week pay period, the government is collecting 30% of $12. Ooh, but what if they can increase minimum wage to $12.50 or $13? Now it's 30% of those numbers. So who does really minimum wage increase mandated by government? I said that again. I got to keep repeating myself. People like to hear what they want to hear. Who really benefits the most? It's government. They are able now to collect more taxes. I want to discuss one other thing that really segues into this, and it's politicians. The mechanics of doing business is what I already explained to you. Any cost of doing business gets passed down to whom? The consumer. That's you and I. Any cost. Electricity goes up. Prices of the products that they sell go up. New rules and regulations, prices of the products that they sell go up. Minimum wage, same thing. Everything affects the prices of the products that they sell. Everything. Everything. Government knows this. Government knows this. Politicians know this. This is the mechanics of doing business. You think they pay for their air conditioning out of their own wallet? No. You pay for their air conditioning. You pay for their employees. I want to reiterate this. Politicians know this. Why am I saying this? Because when they're candidates and when they're preaching to you that they're not going to increase your taxes, hey, overtaxed taxpayer. Hey, Tucson. Hey, California. Hey, wherever. I'm not going to increase your taxes. And you know what? I'm going to get even for you. I'm going to increase the taxes of the rich people. Who are the rich people? See, they never tell you this. Who pays taxes? Who pays income taxes? It's not the retired people. It would be rich business owners who are still paying income taxes. Remember, retired people do not pay those taxes, not earning an income. And we don't want to go off on a tangent on their investments. That's another thing. It's the business owners. They always say that. Listen, we're going to increase the taxes on those wealthy people. Or sometimes they'll use those wealthy business owners. Listen to the verbiage. They tell you they're not going to increase your taxes, but then they say they're going to increase the taxes of the businesses, knowing that the taxes are going to be passed down to you. It's a scam. It's a magic trick. And many people are so envious of people who have more than them. Oh yeah, he's going to get even for me. Oh, that person drives a Mercedes and owns their own business. I just drive a Ford pickup truck. Yeah, he's going to get even for me. He's going to increase their taxes. The taxes get passed down to you. They're not going to increase your taxes, but then they do a sleight of hand magic trick. Increase the taxes of the business owners. It gets passed down to you. And they're promising that they're not going to increase your taxes. When you hear a politician, regardless of political party, say that, they are a con artist. And I always get the question, why don't businesses complain when their taxes are increased? Well, a lot of businesses do complain because it does hurt their business because they don't sell as many widgets. But many of them don't complain because they don't pay the taxes. Remember, I said you pay the taxes. Therefore, there's no reason for many businesses to complain. We just pass it down to the consumer. Anyway, I appreciate if you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment to this video. I really would appreciate it. And, any insight would be helpful. Take care of yourselves and please support this channel.